Hi, my name is Gail Smith, and you're watching our show called Get That Job. Every topic that we do is around the job search process. We try to give you tools that you can use to navigate this tough economic time that we're going through. We've done all kinds of shows on interviewing, resume writing, how to finance your job search, how to reinvent yourself, etc. This week I'm bringing back a guest that I had at the very beginning of my program, who's Randi Bussin. She's a career coach, and she comes to us with a lot of experience in the reinvention process. But what we're going to talk about specifically today is personal branding, which is a really hot topic right now. Randi has 4 certifications as a certified brand strategist, and she's done a number of talks, presentations, TV segments on this topic. We're going to talk not only about how to brand yourself through all your paperwork and tools that you use to promote yourself, but also how to do it online. And so I'd like to welcome Randi Bussin back to our program. Hi, Randi.
You. Hi, Gail. Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yes, it's good to see you again.
Thank
it's
you.
almost been a year since you were on the show.
Has it been a year?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's almost been a year. Yeah. So I looked on your website right before I came over here just to refresh myself as well. And you have a whole section on personal branding, which makes it very easy for people to navigate through this topic. I think it would be good if you would just, define for us what personal branding actually is.
Sure, that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
So, and just before we start, I always set expectations when I talk about personal branding because it is a huge topic, and branding is a process. So if you think about the Nikes and the Cokes of the world, they didn't develop their brands overnight, and they didn't become these strong brands overnight. And it's the same thing that applies to personal branding. So I do like to set expectations with people when I talk about it and give keynotes that it's a process, and when I talk about it, it can appear kind of overwhelming, but just to kind of get the big picture first, and then we can identify what are some small steps to start and get going. So branding, when we talk about personal branding, you have to understand what branding is first. And when I talk about it, I talk a little bit about what branding is so people understand what branding is, and then I talk about what personal branding is. So branding is a unique promise of value. It's something that you can expect from something. So if I say Volvo, what do you say? What comes to mind?
For me, image, I don't know, quality.
So typically the words I hear, safety and security.
Oh,
So Volvo, their brand, is safety and security. That's their unique promise of value. If I say Apple, what do you say? What words come to mind?
Innovative.
Right, innovation. So that's their unique promise of value. Personal branding is your unique promise of value. It's what somebody can expect from you. And it's really your professional reputation.
Yes.
Now how you get at that is a very complex process, but that's what it is.
Okay, so when someone comes to you and says they want to do personal branding, what's the first step that you, after you explain, the overall, what are the first tools they have to put in place or be thinking about?
That's great. So I'm trained in the REACH communications consulting process, so it's all around personal branding and managing your brand online. So I use a lot of the tools from REACH, and then I kind of intermingle career coaching as required. But say somebody comes to me and they're actually employed.
Yes.
And they've heard about personal branding, and they're thinking about making a move, and they say, I really want to work on my personal brand. So I will take them through the REACH 1, 2, 3 process, and I'll walk you through. There are 3 steps to working on your personal brand. The first step is the extract phase. You have to extract your brand and understand what it is before you can start communicating. That's 80% of the work. That's where I spend all my time with my clients. Once you extract your brand and you're crystal clear on what it is, then you can begin to think about how to get visibility for that brand and expressing your brand. That's phase 2, the express phase. And then phase 3 is the exude phase, which is once you know what your brand is and you've begun to express it, how to exude that brand in everything you do, from your network to your office environment to the technologies. That's really the last phase and very short compared to the others. So with a client, we're going to start with the express phase, and that's 80% of the work, and I'm happy to tell you what goes into that phase.
Okay, now to make a corollary, a company might do a focus group to get some opinions about what their brand is. So they're getting some feedback back from consumers. So in the REACH process, when you get the extraction? Are you getting feedback?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So really good question. So in the extract phase, we're looking at two things: introspective analysis and external feedback.
Okay.
So from the introspective side, going quickly, what we're working on with the client is their goals. Because if you don't know what your goals are, you don't know where to point that brand, right? So we're looking at goals. We're looking at what we call the VPs of a brand: vision, values, purpose, and passion.
Okay.
Not necessarily in that order. And that is really, really hard work, and we have to do that. Then on the external side, we're trying to understand who's the target market. Who's your target market? Who are you trying to convince? Then we get feedback using a tool that was created by Reach called the Reach 360. It's a personal branding assessment. And we go out and it's just like a focus group. We're getting feedback from people in your brand community, friends and family and peers and colleagues and managers and friends from school and friends from grad school. We're getting all that feedback and we get a really detailed report and we go through it, and that helps us extract what your brand is. And then from there, we can look at what are your differentiators, because it's all about being differentiated, right?
Yeah.
So that's in a nutshell where that focus group or that external feedback comes in.